All right, ready for some humor? Black Lives Matters. That's the humor. No, sorry. Black Lives Matter thinks it can bring down white capitalism by creating a Black Christmas. And their idea is for Black consumers to boycott any white-owned stores. So tell me, how is that not racist? And don't people like Hillary Clinton and former President Obama ultimately share some blame for helping legitimize such a radical organization? Just listen.
Black Lives Matter simply refers to the notion that there's a specific vulnerability for African Americans that needs to be addressed.
When people say Black Lives Matter, that doesn't mean blue lives don't matter.
And we do have to stand up and say loudly and clearly, Black Lives Matter.
All right, joining us now for reaction is attorney Anthony Tall. All right, Anthony, you got to educate me on this one. I do not understand this at all. How do you determine, first of all, just as a factual matter, if a business, let's say, is owned by like an Indian guy in a partnership with a white woman, and then maybe has a Black co-owner as well, maybe three people own a business together, does that business get boycotted because there's an element other than a Black element in the ownership structure? How do you determine that?
Well, I don't know if that's how you focus on the problem. I think you pretty much just focus on what they're saying is that there's Black businesses in the Black community that need to be supported and need to be encouraged. You know, this is a day of Oprah. This is the day of Blackish. You know, Black economic power means something. So what Black Lives Matter is saying is let's just invest in Black businesses for this Christmas. Let's make sure we spend our dollar the way that a lot of other ethnic groups have spent their dollars for years. So I don't know if the focus is so much on whether or not there's a diversity or multicultural within the business or excluding whites. I think the focus is on let's make sure that our economic dollar is spent in our community and we build entrepreneurship, which is a Republican idea. I'm surprised you don't like that, Laura.
Yeah, well, I actually think it's people want to, Catholics go to Catholic businesses, you know, I don't have any problem with that. My problem is when it seems to be based in a very, it's kind of a negative thing. Christmas is about, you know, Christ and the birth of Christ, and of course retail is important, but I think businesses need consumers, they need customers. So why penalize a business that just happens to be owned in whole or part by a white person? Maybe that white person or Indian person or Asian person maybe pulled himself or herself up by the bootstraps, came from nothing, and started a business in a minority community. Don't we want to encourage white and Asian and all sorts of people to come into Black communities to bring more dollars and investment? That way Black people can come work there and maybe become a manager and ultimately take the shop over. Isn't that something good?
Well, yeah, that's good, but I think because Black people in this country have had such an economic struggle. Remember, this is nothing new. Going all the way back to Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Rosewood, where Blacks would try to start their own businesses, which could expand and could express the diversity that you're talking about, and a lot of those communities were destroyed. So with that being the case, we're still here in 2017, where now we realize the Black dollar has economic power, as it always has.
Dollar? And when you say hold on, I say green dollars. What do you mean Black dollars? I mean,
I definitely understand. I definitely understand green dollars. I guess what I'm saying.
What I'm trying to say is a dollar spent at any store, retail outlet. I mean, that dollar goes into the business in the community. So I understand spend money in the community. I think that's great because it encourages more business, encourages more jobs, and so forth. That's great. But it just seems antithetical to me to helping a community where people are coming in from all races and backgrounds, whether it's St. Louis or Detroit. Isn't it about welcoming people of all colors and backgrounds into different underprivileged, underserved areas and bringing all people together? Isn't that what Christmas is all about? Not like you're Black, I'm white, you're Asian, let's all go to our own stores and go to our own separate places. To me, that's just wild after everything the country's been through. Yeah, but
I don't think that's the point. I know. I don't think that's the point, though. I think the point is that what they're saying, and let me go back to the Black dollar thing. What I'm saying is that Black people who have money, which is obviously green, that their dollars go into Black businesses. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with saying that if you live in a certain community, let's support the businesses in the black community.
Well, that's different, but you're making it about race, and I think this is the stuff that's driving
I'm not making it about race.
Crazy.
I haven't made
Black Lives Matter is making it about race. And when you say black people should shop only at black-owned stores, that is a racial statement at a time where our country is supposed to be uniting, coming together, especially at the holiday season. And if it was going to be really focused on only black businesses, why just focus during Christmas? Make it all year long, forever. Only go to black-owned stores, only go to black-owned businesses. Do it a whole year long.
I think it should
really
be that
do
way.
it right.
I think it should be that way. I think it should be that way, but I think I think you're missing the point.
It should be that
I think
way.
you're missing
So
the point.
no white-owned stores ever.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there should be a diversity of dollars spent. But because of those people who are at a low economic level to build their dollar value up in other communities, they need to learn how to invest in their own business. I know you agree with that, Laura.
Everyone needs to learn to have a work ethic, save for a rainy day, and be open to people of different backgrounds and I just think the racial line is wild. I think it's like the opposite meaning of Christmas, at least to me, but that's my view.
I think that's how you see it. Yeah, I think you see it wrong.
I appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Lonely has a first name. It's O-S-C-A-R.
That's what we're about.
I love that song.
Yeah. It's Facebook Friday. That means it's Friday.
Yeah.
So glad. It's almost over. 12 minutes. All right, first question. This is from John K. I'm going to you, Tucker.
All right.
If you were on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, which is a game show, if you're not familiar with it. Have you ever seen it before?
I'm so high-toned.
All right. Then you might not know what I'm asking. Who would be your lifeline, Tucker?
I don't know what that means.
All right.
Aeschylus?
What?
Oh, it's just a great philosopher. I was reading.
That's actually a good answer.
Thank you. Who would I call for help?
Exactly.
Yeah, phone a friend.
Oh, gosh. I mean, I don't want to put you on the spot, Greg, but you.
I think that's a good choice.
Yeah,
I think that'd be very good.
If it were like a question about 80s pop music.
You would
like Depeche Mode?
lose. You would not lose.
Yeah. No.
I love them. Dana?
I forgot to call my husband.
Yeah.
Phone a friend.
He knows a lot of stuff.
Yep.
Rachel?
Well, I want to pass the second test, so I want to say you, Greg, but in all honesty, it's my husband. And actually, he saved me many, many times on Fox when a question has come up and I've quick texted him for the answer, so.
That's true. Doing Fox is like doing Who Wants to Be... you're sitting there, you're going, oh, crap. I don't have an answer for this
How do I feel about Sanctuary City?
You get on your phone, and you're like,
I'll just be honest.
I hope my buddy Paul's home. So what happened with the terrorists in '83? Anyway.
Well, it's helpful if your husband's in Congress, too, and you have a lot of political questions, so.
Richard.
So if it's pop culture, it's going to be Shannon Bream because she knows everything about music in the 80s.
Good.
She's really good. And
She was in the Go-Go's.
Yeah.
Did you know that? Yeah.
And if it's like history or that stuff, I think I'd call Brit Hume.
Good call. Brit Hume, everybody. That's Brit Hume. This is my impression of Brit Hume. Anyway, I would pick Dorothy Johnson. Lives down the block. She just knows a lot of stuff. All right, Frank
She's probably
V.
home.
Yeah. Right. If you could pick an age for the rest of your life, Rachel, how old would you want to be? This is from Frank V.
Well, this is an excellent question. I have 8 kids, and I will tell you that 3 is the best age. Is that enough? 8's enough. I have
fill your heart with love.
I have a 3-year-old right now, and so after having 8 and then having a 3-year-old, I have to tell you, it is the best age. I am savoring it. I love it.
Are you saying now is the best age?
No. Well.
No.
3 is the best age.
3 years old.
Because
3 years old.
Everyone, she's the joy of the family. Everyone loves her.
Okay.
She's the star.
Oh, okay. And you get to wear a diaper.
She doesn't wear a diaper.
Oh, I did. I still do.
That's so
That explains a lot. That explains a lot.
Richard. All right, Richard, I'll go to you. What age?
I would say it's a toss-up between 21 and 25. The reason why 21 is because you really don't have a care in the world and you're living your best life ever. And I think 25 is like right at that age where your body is at like now I'm 30 and after a drink I'm like, oh Lord, my bones are clicking. So 25 or 21.
Don't you feel sorry for? A woman peaks at 35.
I would be 71.
Nice. Something to look forward to.
Yeah, because at 71, if you're in decent shape, right, you kind of have all your faculties, but you can say literally whatever you
Yeah, that's very
and
true.
nobody's going to attack you. You get a discount at every restaurant, at the movies, but most of you have total moral impunity at 70.
Well,
Maybe not like Conyers.
That's what I was going to say.
He's 88.
But you could maybe say anything.
I would pick my age, which is, 45, which I really enjoy. You know what's interesting though? It made me think about, like, when you were a kid and you thought about heaven, you imagined everybody at the age that you know them as a kid. So your grandmother or your grandfather would be their age. Do you think they'd want to be that age in heaven?
That's a good
No,
point.
they want to be your age. So technically everybody in heaven would be like 12 or 13. It would just be very chaotic.
That's such a depressing
It could be.
age, though.
It'd be hard to find your parents because they'd be your age.
That'd be weird.
Very strange. I've looked into this, America. All right. This is an interesting, complex question. Dana.
Okay.
Kimberly W. asks, what would you say has been your biggest sacrifice, either personally or professionally, and was it worth it?
The biggest sacrifice?
Yes.
I don't really.
You've never sacrificed anything?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I feel like I'm pretty blessed, so I don't. And I've worked hard, and no, I don't.
Never?
I probably need to sacrifice more.
Yes.
You need to be
I think
Never do enough.
we've learned here that you're a very cold person.
Ask him that.
Tucker, you've sacrificed a lot. It is actually a really awful question when you think about
I
it.
hate to admit it.
It's a
I've
terrible
like
question.
Dana, I've had a totally cheerful life.
Yeah, it actually is. It's a question that has betrayed our own shallowness. Although you have 8 kids, so
I have 8
you
kids.
know sacrifice.
I know and I'm Catholic, so put that together. Listen, yes, I would say I've made a lot of sacrifices for my kids.
Excellent. Richard?
I'm with Dana. I think I've been really blessed. So to say that I sacrificed would be a really hard thing
it'd be
for
like
me
a hard
to
thing.
say.
What
I think
about you?
it made me feel like ungrateful or something.
I would say my biggest sacrifice is being here and helping America through tough times.
Oh, boy.
Because I love you, America.